Hello and welcome to Gamer Life. I'm going to be changing up my review style a little bit. I'm going to be talking less about rules and setup and more about the game itself. So, let's start off with Shadowrun's Crossfire. Shadowrun's Crossfire is a 2 to 4 player co-op deck builder. It takes about an hour to play. So, let's take a look and I'll tell you what I think. So here's Shadowrun's Crossfire. Shadowrun's Crossfire is a missions-based game in which you and 4 other players are going to be going out doing a mission and see if you can succeed in what the game throws at you. So what players are going to do first is they're going to pick one of the 5 different meta types. There's humans, dwarves, elves, trolls, and orcs. Now the game comes with 2 of each of the meta types, one male, one female. Let's take a look at the female human. That right there is their starting health. Also shows you right there. If you can see that. That's the starting health, that's their starting hand size, and that's their starting money. Each one has slightly different stats. Like for example, the orc has slightly more health and slightly more starting hand size, but starts with $1 instead of the human, which starts with $3. Off to the side here is your slots for expansions, which has come down, which has been a subject of controversy because to upgrade you have to use these stickers. Now, I don't care. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to photocopy these and just write down what I take, so I don't have to use the stickers because I don't care. So, what players are going to do to start with is they're going to take this. They're going to pick their starting roll. Now, all the rolls are pretty much the same, except in your starting deck you will have more of one type of card. There are 4 types of starting cards. There's going to be the red, the black, the blue, and the green. Pretty much, the red is for the facer, green is for the decker, which is the tech guy, blue is for the magic guy, and black is for the samurai guy, which is pretty much the warrior type. So, based on whatever roll you take, you're going to get 7 cards, 4 of your chosen roll and 1 of each of the other 3. So for example, the street samurai will get 4 blacks, 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 green. And that's these cards here. To start, players are going to choose one of the 3. The game comes with 3 scenarios to play through. You pick one of the 3. There is Crossfire, Client, and Covert Dragon. Online, I believe there's another scenario in which you can download and play through. Based on the scenario the players have chosen, they will have to go through a number of obstacles, whether or not they're the easy obstacle, which is the single bullet hole, or the hard obstacle, which is the 2 bullet hole ones. See there. Once they've completed enough obstacles and they've gone through enough scenes, which is pretty much the checkpoint or the break in a scenario, they will then check to see if they have completed enough to fulfill the mission. If they do, they get 3 karma points. If they fail but they perform a successful abort, they'll get 1 karma point. Karma point is pretty much the experience in the game. You use that to buy the stickers I just showed you, and that's how characters level up in the game. So let's take a look at these obstacles. All obstacles have a damage bar up here. That's each stage of damage that has to be done to the obstacle before it can be destroyed. That there is how much money the players will divide up amongst themselves, and that's how much damage they'll do to the player. So how these work is pretty much players are going to be using the cards they have in their hand to try to overcome each level. So for example, this number here means it's colors. They can play any 2 cards to overcome it. That means they have to play a red card, and that means they have to play a blue card. Now all these cards they have to start with is just they don't have enough to overcome it all at once. So what players will do is they'll track it with these little damage tokens here. They'll track each stage, and once the creature has been defeated, it gets discarded and they will divide the money. And players use the money that they've earned to buy better gear. such as this one here. This one here's an example. This one costs $5, and this is the DOC wagon, which heals all the players. Now, that there means that it heals that player, but if they have an assist, that means that they can place on another player's turn, and they can help them also. And the other ones, such as the icon grab, it has a green icon, but then you can also get another icon. And this one only costs 2. So all the black market cards are pretty much better stuff, better weapons that players can pick up. And it doesn't matter what color the card they're picking up, it doesn't have to match their role, because anybody can pick up anything. It's just certain characters are better at doing certain things. For example, the spells require you to play a spell card that round, so pretty much only the mage will get will have a better opportunity to picking this up, while say the katana is slightly better for the street samurai because it increases all their other weapons, and they have more weapons than anybody else in the starting deck, so this would benefit them more. But anybody can use anything in the game. Their role doesn't hinder them on picking up weapons or spells. One unique thing about this game is the Crossfire event deck, hence the name Crossfire, Shadowrun's Crossfire. This is just random obstacles and hindrances that players have to overcome in order to progress through the game. Every round they'll be flipping one of these up and doing what it says. So for example, that there is this here says the strength of each blue obstacle is increased by 1. So pretty much all the magic cards in the game, all the magic obstacles have become stronger. And then once it goes into the discard, if the Crossfire number, which is this number here, is high enough, it triggers again. That the Crossfire number is pretty much the number of cards that's already inside the discard. So once a card gets placed into the discard, if it's high enough, like for example, there's 3 cards in the discard right now. This one here had a Crossfire level of 3. It would trigger, and more stuff would happen to the players. At first glance, Shadowrun's Crossfire looks fairly complex because there's a lot of pictures and stuff, but it's a very simple game. It just boils down to matching colors. Red matches with red, blue matches with blue. It's just a very hard game to play, in a sense in which all players will have to work together in order to overcome the obstacles in this game, because they are quite hard. You're gonna have to see who can do what on their turn. You can't show your cards, but you can tell the players what you have and what you can do in your turn. And you have to assess to see who can take the hits, who can't. Because once one player goes critical, the game's over. So all players have to survive in order to fulfill the mission. So that requires a lot of teamwork on everybody involved. The game is short. It only plays about an hour. I have not won a game. I've come close a couple times, but I have not won a game. I'm thinking about just trying it with a few upgrades and see how that does. But the biggest problem with the game is not its difficulty, is the fact that you have to play this game in a campaign mode, in which you are playing the several rounds over and over, so you can level up your characters, and so they become stronger. So you can face on the newer challenges, the hard ones, such as the dragon fight or the client, because they require a level up character, because you will not survive. I haven't even touched the Cobra Dragon because it just looks almost impossible. But to play this game as a one-shot game, it's not worth it. You have to play this game as a campaign. I recommend this game for someone who's looking for a challenge, who's looking for a simple but challenging game. It can kind of be compared to the Pathfinder adventure game. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the adventure game plays similar to this game. Only difference is in the Pathfinder adventure card game, the Rise of the Ruin Lords, you are building up your deck. That deck is your character. While this one here, you all pretty much start with the same cards, except you just start with a different ratio. And you are buying cards as you progress through the game, but you don't get to keep those cards from game to game. While in the Pathfinder one, you do. But in the Pathfinder one, you have dice rolling. In this one here, there's no dice rolling. It's just whatever you draw from the obstacle deck is what you have to face. So there's less randomness to this game, but there's also a little less customization, in which you have to start with that same 7 cards all the time. Now there are other upgrades you can pick, so you can get a slightly different starting hand, or you can you have a chance to buy first. The first thing you do is you can buy a card from the black market to start the game with. So it does change it up a little bit, but that's only after you've played several games and have leveled up a character. But to start with, you're going to have the same starting hands with everybody else. But it does reward perseverance, in which if you can get through it, it is rewarding. So that's my review of Shadowrun's Crossfire. Thanks for watching, and remember, I believe there's a game for everyone. Thank you.